Welcome to episode 2. On this episode, we talked to Jason Rockhill, a gentleman that Toph and I used to work for at a place called Common Grounds. He talks about that and some various other things. We're going to change the format of the way we do the show as well. We're just going to have one interview at a time, try and get them out quicker. Life sort of happened to me in between the first and second, so I apologize for the delay, but we should be back on track soon. In the next episode, we're going to talk to Drop Jaw Bertone. He's a local musician, and he also wrote a theme song for An Average Day, which we'll be introducing next episode. So enjoy this episode, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Not bad there.
I mean, I'm DC hardcore guy, pretty much. Throughout the whole Discord catalog of like the Ian MacKaye
School of thought. Yeah.
So like the song "Long Distance Runner" is like really important to me. Where it's like this isn't like a sprint.
This is what you're doing.
This is what I'm doing. Right. This is a long like thing. It's not like I'm not being judged on today. That's the wrong way to put it, I think. But like, you know, like this is
That's a good way to put it.
This is a long thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not like actively trying to do as many things as I can, but I'm following whatever interests pop up to me as I follow along as I go. So like it's not. We can't get it all done tonight. We just can't.
Yeah.
Or this week.
Or really in life.
You know, yeah, there'll be lots of stuff that are left undone at the end too, whatever. And I don't know, it's a long, you have a long time, and you should make the most of your time, but it's not like, it's not a race. Yeah. That sentiment like speaks to me. I think things end and you move on to the next thing. You know, sometimes you get caught a long time in the time between things.
Right.
But you just, you do what's in front of you. It seemed like the best idea in the world to open this place when we did. And then when we closed, it was like, thank fucking God.
Did it run you down at all over the years? Yeah. I mean,
and I scaled back I was like 80 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
Easy. Like probably close to 100. Just because I'm an idiot. For some reason, I felt like it was like, I needed to be here
all the time.
Almost the first person here and the last person to leave. And it's just like, what did I do? I mean, it's not. I mean, I was here for it all. Like, I probably missed 20 shows in the time that we were open. But
do you feel like even in the time that you were open here, that there was a change so much in touring music?
Well, I think the change that I saw the most is just this town and the university here is, I think, like this administration of the university has decided to make this the Harvard of the South or whatever, and the focus has moved away from liberal arts and stuff to be sciences and research and stuff that's going to make the university money, which is fine because there's no funding for public education and they did what they had to do.
Right.
But there's a different kind of kid who comes here than there was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, it's changed so much that
right.
I don't think that there are kids that come here and they want to be in a band while they're in school, but not like there were.
Right.
And I think that it's something that, and also there's not kids that are like linked into like, I go see live bands play and that's what I do.
Right.
And I don't know if that's like a thing that sort of petered out with people my age and younger. They just don't go out to see a band. Like, well, that's all I cared about when I was growing up. So I think that change in the university, where like kids would. That was a loud sneeze.
I was getting ready for something to fall out.
You got that ambient noise. But you know, that change coupled with the whole like economic downturn and the price of gas and like how bands are still tour like they do, and no one buys records and all this stuff. Like it's you know it's a tough industry to be in, where you're just banking on, especially in this town, like what 18 to 24-year-olds want to do on a Thursday night for $12. When it's also the kind of group where you could have 1,000 people coming towards you to go to what you're doing, and something shiny happens over here. Or like the Thursday night lineup on NBC is like really awesome right now. We just can't get people out on Thursdays. Like it's just like, like I've never used that excuse in promoter excuse time when you're talking to a band about why people didn't come out to see them. But you could. It's like in this town, it's like, well, people are moving this week. It's midterms, or it's there's a football game in 2 days. It's like, I don't know. Like the Gators lost this week, so no one's coming out. Like it's just like the stupidest. Stuff like college kids. Like, who knows?
Do you have any opinion on whether or not the Fest may have done anything to touring bands?
I think that I don't think the Fest,
but
I
festivals.
think that festivals have, and it's probably, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing for bands, where they're like, it seems with economic downturns and the price of gas rising and all that stuff, that like certain kinds of bands would do that, like swing around to CMJ or swing around to South by Southwest, or a record just come out, so we're gonna like kind of play or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like there aren't those, like, doesn't seem anyway, those like road dog bands that like just went out on tour all the time. That I think that the fact that there's all these fests are probably good in some ways for bands, because there are
lots of exposure,
like more exposure, and you're grouped in with certain things. And I suppose to some bands there's a decent payday involved. That, I don't know, I mean, all that stuff cuts both ways. Like, I personally, like, fuck a fest. Like, no, I'm not talking about the fest, which I think that can go fuck itself too. But, like, a show is 3 bands.
Right.
That's what I want to see. 3 bands. I want the headliner to have picked at least one of the bands that they're on tour with, and I want them to play as long as they fucking want to. And I want them to have set up the show. That's what I want to see a band in that. I want them to play the kinds of venue they want to play. That's what I want. Like, that's the bands that I want to see. That's what I want. I mean, there's so many bands I'd love to see, even that I'm curious about, that are just never going to come closer than fucking Nashville, Tennessee, or whatever to here. They won't even play Atlanta. So, I don't know. That's my answer. I don't fucking know.
It's a solid answer.
It's a solid answer.
Kind of a change of pace here.
Good. Let's get on.
Maybe kind of depending on what kind of imagination you have. Have you ever wished upon a star?
What's the next question you got?
That's perfect.
I work in one of the most uncreative places on earth. Not creative whatsoever. So, and they every year in October, it's GE Blitz Month, and GE gives out $200 to the people at counters. Like, I work at the counter at Gray Bar selling electrical supplies to rednecks. That they give $200.
They call them contractors.
Contractors. Well, no, they work for contractors. These guys do the work and they pick it up and order it, whatever. And they give $200 out to the best decorated counters. So this year, I made 4 like monster heads with light up eyes that that are in front of the door, that are in the doorway. So like when people walk in, it's like, wah! That's. I decided to spend a weekend before I had to put it up, making and cutting out like monster heads that I stole out of comic books.
How much do you think that put you back? $200?
No, I don't think so. I got Graybar to pay for the $75 to get them wired.
All right.
So, and I had the wood and the paint and like probably like $20 for the piece of plywood. It's totally worth
Totally
it.
worth it.
So, like I made. It's just like ridiculous to me. Like at work. Like
What are you doing, Jason?
I made four.
You know.
I made 4 monster heads with light sockets for eyes. Well, I'm gonna win the $200.
I feel like
I won the $200 last year for even something not as crazy, but you know, I threw it together last minute. But whatever. I'm gonna have to split the money with the jackass who works with me on the counter. Because that's just what you have to do. But like, it's got to poke out somehow. Like
I mean, if everyone else is shopping at the dollar store for decorations, I think
yeah, I think there's a handmade quality to my stuff that, like, you know, takes it over the edge. But what was the question?
Oh, that was it.
Being who I am, like, I could be probably a graphic designer if I wanted to devote my life to that. If I wanted to lay out brochures, but I don't. So I'm fine making $5 a flyer and like whatever that, you know. So I just do these like weird things that I have no hope of making any money doing, but don't make me want to shove a pencil in my eye because I had to make a, you know, a brochure for assisted living, whatever. You know.
Would you rather read the book or watch the movie? If there was
If it's something I'm curious about, I will read the book, then we'll go watch the movie. It's the wrong way to do it. I don't recommend it.
When's the last time you dressed up for Halloween? And what was it?
The last time I can remember, I was an Amish person. It was at the old Common Grounds. I think that's the last time I've dressed up for Halloween. I've wanted to for the fest, like every year, to buy a gorilla suit and work a show in a gorilla suit. But like those things are like
Hot.
a good one is like $500.
And they're probably hot.
Rent them all?
Yeah, but like
Who would want to rent?
I'm 6'3".
Yeah, probably not
It's
many
not gonna.
gorilla
Yeah,
suits.
yeah, it's probably gonna. It's like
Get a custom.
A custom gorilla suit,
Get like a
36.
real gorilla suit. Like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
It's just, but I've wanted to. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, I was an Amish person, and it just really meant like I grew my beard out and then
Wore a hat and a shirt.
wore a shirt and then creatively trimmed certain parts of my beard. Whatever. Like it's pretty lame. I looked like a skinhead more than anything.
Have you done anything recently you regretted to some large degree?
God.
Or maybe not so recently?
Not for any more than like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sure there's that was stupid in there someplace.
Do you sort of miss the opportunity to instill moral fiber in people?
I think that's talking about like loosening up a bit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not here to teach life lessons. You know, you cannot piss in the corner over there, right next to the porta potty. You can't do it. If I see you do it, I'm throwing you out, and I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to throw you out. We're not going to have a discussion about it. You're gone. You need to be potty trained, like house trained, housebroken to walk in.
Yeah.
Is that a role you're comfortable in, or was that just frustrating to no end to sort of like,
It was
deal with that
like,
humanity?
Yeah, it was really frustrating after the fact. I didn't like shy away from taking that like responsibility on it all, but after the fact, I was always like, I just had to yell at the guy for whatever he just, you know, like it's like
For peeing
in the
next
corner.
to it.
And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. No, come on, don't do that. I don't know.
Do you get upset about those kinds of things because of lack of common sense? I feel like
Well, I
you
think
really
I get mad at
appreciate-
myself for allowing someone to get to me so much that I got mad about it. That was kind of the thing afterwards. It was like, I just got pissed off at that idiot. He wins. And he's going to wake up tomorrow the same brand of asshole that he woke up today. What I am is a product of my grandfather, Southern Baptist Church upbringing, you know, everything I do is a reflection on my family, my church, and my school kind of stuff. Like, you know, your team, all that kind of stuff was like, you know, ingrained in me that I'm representing other people in most of the stuff that I do. And I don't think that that's how everyone should live their life, but that's just what's like ingrained in me that, like, you know, I don't think I could ever get rid of that just because that's what it was. I think I was probably, to a lot of people, like, really didn't like working for me at times because I was just like, would you just please fucking pay attention? And I'm sure I've said that to you.
Yeah, even just playing softball with you, playing right next to you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always, you're an imposing person. You can't get away from it. You're not, it's never going to go away. So when you speak to somebody, you're so direct that there's really no misunderstanding of what you're trying to say.
And I don't know if that's just because of my grandfather, and not that he ever really yelled at me, but he was just like a very direct guy.
Yeah.
And I played basketball throughout high school. Not that like whatever, but I had the yellingest coaches ever. I had like Bobby Knight for like
Chair
like
throwing
every like red-faced, vein-popping like yellers.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, like, I don't know if they decided that I had the temperament where I could take that, like, me being yelled at. We're like, and so I've been yelled at for everything I've ever done wrong.
Yeah.
So I didn't fucking do shit wrong. And I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of rolled off my back. You know, like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want that guy yelling at me. Whatever. So,
Does it automatically turn you off if people can't accept that sort of?
I don't know. I think that I've had problems with people before, especially, like, you know, the softball stuff. I think I've rubbed some people the wrong way. No, I haven't. And working here too, where it's like, you know, but at the same time, I've never, like,
Regretted.
gotten on anyone or yelled at anyone for stuff that I wasn't in the trenches doing too.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like, you know, I cleaned up as much puke and shit and anything in here as anyone else in here has ever cleaned up. You know,
Right.
I got my hands dirty just as much as anyone else did, or more. And I don't know, like, I don't know, I'm sure that there's some people who just fucking hate it working for me. And
Do you think that there's anyone that wishes you were dead?
I don't,
Not just
Dead?
from working, but like
Dead?
over time,
I don't
or that
know.
would be happy if they found out, or that they
I'm
would
sure
be
there's people
relieved.
who, because of some interaction, think I'm the worst fucking person on earth, and I don't even remember it. You know, like, I think we've talked about this when we were talking about doing this interview. We talked about how, like, people have these crazy stories and tell me all the time, like, you were so mean to me this one time, and I'm like, I don't remember it at all. Like, whatever you did, I corrected it and moved on with my fucking life. You know, like, that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
And, like, and people are like, I saw you carry this one guy out with one arm, and you were carrying another guy by his head. You know, like, I mean, like, I kind of remember having to do that kind of stuff, but I mean, like, you do it, you take care of the situation, and you move the fuck on.
Next game. Worry about the next game.
Next game, next show, and really, like, all those people that I threw out, they can come back tomorrow. But I'm a workaholic. Like, I want to keep busy. I don't, like, sit around and watch TV. I don't have cable. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't watch as many movies as I should. I want to keep busy, and I just sometimes it's spinning my wheels busy. But I like being busy and active and doing stuff rather than just like.
Right. You get
You know.
stir crazy at all?
Yeah, I totally do.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake twice, and I did it the second time after I knew that I shouldn't have done it the second time. If I went, my grandfather built a cabin in North Carolina in the year I was born. So I've been going there my whole life, and I love going up there. But I went up there twice in the last couple of years with me and my parents. Like cabin on the top of this like long mountain road. Like, you know, there's shit to do, but like it's not as compelling to go out and do it when it's like, I had such a good time by myself, going and roaming around whatever I did.
Do you have a hard time relaxing then, would you say?
I've gotten much better at it. I used to. but like I can hang out in the moment more than I ever could before. And I don't know if that's just because like I'm not in this place all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You feel like the first couple years of it, I was like, we got to do this right. We're gonna run it on time. We're gonna like, this is the right way to do stuff.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I don't know if it's like idiots and bands wore me down, or just like this is just bands. This isn't like, One of the most important things to me for everything about this place is when I realized that no one in the history of ever started or joined or formed a band to become more responsible. Like no one ever did that.
Yeah.
And like it's supposed to be fun, and I really like for things to run on time, but it doesn't have to be so German about it, I guess.
Do you have?
Are we recording still?
Yeah, we got 3 minutes left.
Any advice that you give to future posterity and future generations?
I don't think I'm in any position to be giving.
Sure you are. It's the same amount of time.
Stay busy.
Yeah.
That's probably good enough.
Yeah. We're all gonna die.
That is true.
Is it?
Yes, Topher, it is.
We all are. That's the one truth.
That's the one truth. So I had to take that home to get it off?
Yeah. I think it might be on the card now. I can just give you that. My sister's place is
Right by my house.
You want to take your tripod with me?
Maybe just so I know what it is. Unless you want to use it.
No, I don't.